Thousands of criminals running from the law are coming to our valley to hide.
Very proactive in keeping the streets of Las Vegas safe for citizens.
Only Channel 8 is along for Operation Slam Dunk.
And sex offenders trying to go unnoticed in our neighborhoods. But that may soon change. The proposal that would track the predators from the moment they leave prison.
And a wet storm leaves snow on the mountains and lightning in the valley. How long will it last?
Now, your #1 11 p.m. newscast. Channel 8 Eyewitness News in HD.
At one point, the rain was really coming down, although it started off as just a drizzle.
Yeah, full spectrum tonight. The wet weather is making it dangerous for driving, though. It's pooling in some areas, and an impressive lightning show lit up the sky tonight. Gina Cancelleri joins us with a look at what's going on outside right now. Gina?
All right, Dave, we're going to start off with the radar and show you that everything is slowly but surely coming to an end. All of the rain is heading from the north down to the south. Some pretty moderate rain moving through Boulder City not that long ago. Now it will continue to push to the south. North Las Vegas should start to clear out any moment now. Here's a wider look at the entire storm as it continues to travel to the south. Now what I want to show you, rainfall totals for the different neighborhoods, and the most that was picked up in the valley was at West Desert Inn, about 1/3 of an inch of rain. Areas in Henderson close to that too. Other areas only a trace. Outside the valley, same story here. Boulder City, as I mentioned, some pretty decent rain moved through there not that long ago. Close to 1 inch has already fallen. I've got more details on tonight's forecast and, of course, Valentine's Day coming up in just a few hours. Guys, back to you.
Thanks. Well, police are out keeping the streets safe in preparation for one of the biggest sporting events to hit our city.
It's called Operation Slam Dunk, and it was a success. U.S. Marshals arrested more than 140 fugitives. They confiscated 6 guns and recovered $5,000, all in an effort to clean out the criminals on our streets in advance of the All-Star game, because police say the game itself is known to attract the criminal element. Channel 8 Eyewitness News reporter Adrian Arambulo was the only reporter to ride along with U.S. Marshals as they tracked down troublemakers. Adrian.
Well, Paul, the big game is getting closer and preparations are in full swing. Tonight, we understand that the hardwood floor for the court is being laid into place at the Thomas & Mack. Now, this past week, authorities set their sights on tracking down fugitives as the festivities approach.
Ready? The hunt begins here.
Ready?
U.S. Marshals run a quick briefing about their target.
Burglary and battery.
They gear up.
Keep the vest tight in case we gotta run.
And hit the road.
Good to go.
There's time for one last check, and then they move in. They're tracking fugitives, and they're ready for anything.
Are those here?
The man they're searching for is wanted for a carjacking and beating. He's not home.
And you don't know this person? In this business, it's hit or miss.
But the team gathers valuable information that'll pay off later. For the last week, a special task force made up of teams like this one
Go out and pick them up.
searched and arrested wanted felons in an effort to clean up the community before the upcoming NBA All-Star game.
It was a little bit of a proactive operation instead of being, a little reactive.
U.S. Marshals like John Minnick and police officers like North Las Vegas's Donovan McIntosh worked around the clock.
Cleared a significant number of outstanding warrants. We took some drugs, we took some weapons off the streets, and I think the operation was a great success.
As the team moves to the next stop, they say some come with surprises.
We're chasing guys down, people slamming the doors, we're breaking in doors to, make contact with these people. We encountered a meth lab.
In that case, the target, James Jones, was wanted for 4 felonies. When he failed to cooperate, they moved in and found a meth lab, guns, and another fugitive with him. It's a case marshals say shows the direct link between drug use and crime.
She's wanted for possession of a controlled substance.
There's no luck at stops 2 or 3. But a tip comes in about the first case involving the carjacking suspect.
Yeah, I gotta run.
And the team rushes back. Though he's wanted for beating a person, the suspect doesn't put up a fight. Nearly 150 others wanted for 500+ crimes were hauled off to jail during this operation.
Once we all pull together, it really helps with the locating, of our felony outstanding suspects.
Ending their time on the run, and just in time for perhaps the biggest sporting event ever to hit Las Vegas.
Now, in total, 10 agencies worked on Operation Slam Dunk. While most of the arrests were drug-related, they also picked up people wanted for violent crimes and for sex-related crimes. Back to you.
Thanks, Adrian. The official tip-off of All-Star Weekend got an early start tonight in Summerlin. Fans and sports legends mingled during the tip-off. Earlier, we caught up with crews preparing for the All-Star Jam session at Mandalay Bay. It's a first for Las Vegas, and it could go down in the record books. NBA fans get to interact with the legends of the game.
If you're a basketball fan, you need to be here because we're going to have over 30 different basketball-themed attractions. So you can slam dunk, shoot three-pointers. We're going to try to break some dribbling world records here.
To find out about all of the All-Star events, go to our website, lasvegasnow.com, and click on the sports page.
Well, Nevada's becoming known for the number of unregistered sex offenders who hide from the law in our communities. And now lawmakers want to put a stop to that by tracking these violent sexual predators from the moment they leave prison. That means strapping a monitoring device on them that'll tell police exactly where they are. Channel 8 Eyewitness News is live. Ashanti Blaze joins us near SAHARA and Maryland Parkway. And Ashanti, this is based on a Florida law already in place, right?
Dave, that's exactly where Nevada lawmakers are kind of getting their cue from. You may remember a 9-year-old little Florida girl who was sexually assaulted, abducted, then brutally murdered by a convicted sex offender. Well, the state of Florida passed the Jessica Lunsford Act, and that requires that certain sex offenders be tracked manually by an electronic device. Well, that's exactly what lawmakers say probably has to happen here. They're in every community, in every corner of the valley, hundreds of them, sex offenders with only a handful of officers with the parole and probation department to watch over them.
When they leave their home, we don't know where they're going. They know where they're not supposed to go, but we have no way of tracking them 24 hours a day.
For a period of 90 days last year, parole and probation officers were able to do just that. It was a pilot program where GPS bracelets were strapped on low-risk sex offenders so officers like Adam Page could track offenders' every move.
And really see whether or not the technology is reliable enough where we would have a level of comfort to say, yes, this is equipment that we can use as a tool to track our offenders.
One of the problems they discovered during the trial period of this program was the device they were using could only be used outside. That's because it was based on satellite technology. Well, now those problems have been fixed, and pretty much anywhere you can use one of these, you can use a device like this.
It's really a boost for officers and how we can monitor these offenders, just one step better than we have been before.
Florida Parole and Probation already uses these GPS bracelets thanks to the Jessica Lunsford Act requiring electronic monitoring of certain sex offenders.
Our legislature started to ask us questions. Can we use this technology?
And now they know the technology works.
And now it's really just a matter of getting the support of everyone that's involved in making this a law.
And making sure sex offenders in the valley know someone is always watching. Now, Sergeant Page says that this issue right now is up at the legislature, and he believes that they will be discussing this issue in the next couple of days. He says that if this law does pass, he will recommend that it first be taken to Tier 3 sex offenders, and then once it's actually gone into effect and the Parole and Probation Board can get used to it, then they will extend it to the lower risk sex offenders. Reporting live, Ashanti Blaze, Channel 8 Eyewitness News.
All right, Ashanti. And by the way, the man who is charged with the Jessica Lunsford murder case lost a motion today in court. John COURVOISIer is on trial in Miami. He is charged with kidnapping, raping, and then burying the 9-year-old girl alive. His lawyers didn't want the jury to hear from jail guards who claimed COURVOISIer talked frequently about the Lunsford case, but the judge ruled against him.
Lance Malone should find out tomorrow how long he'll spend in prison for delivering bribes to his former colleagues on the county commission. The pre-sentencing hearing of the former Clark County commissioner started today. Prosecutors introduced new evidence claiming Malone also took bribes while still in office, something Malone denies, although he pleaded guilty last September to racketeering and conspiracy to bribe commissioners in the G-Sting case. His attorney doesn't believe the judge will include the new evidence.
Police and businesses in one community say they saw their neighborhood overtaken by thieves, prostitutes, and drug-dealing thugs in just a matter of years.
I've seen the drug deals, right? That'd be just the signs made and the guys walk up and it's that quick.
What could cause such a quick increase in crime? Well, the I-Team's George Knapp goes behind the crime tape with officers to show us how it could happen anywhere. Find out what triggers it coming up.
More than 1,000 sick dogs and cats had to be put to sleep at the Lead Animal Shelter.
That as the facility scrambles to try and clean up more than just their floors and cages. New policies are now in effect at Lead, and there is a new head of the local U.S. Humane Society. His name's Tom Pooler. All of the animals will now be kept in their own cages. It's believed the disease spread so quickly because a lot of those animals shared cages before. And all animals will receive a new 5-in-1 inoculation as soon as they get to Lead. Pooler will make sure all of those new policies are followed. And tonight, people gathered for a vigil for the animals who were lost. Lead should be cleared to open up again by Friday.
If you thought wait times at the DMV are long now, just wait until next year when we may all have to get a new national ID card. Next May, all 50 states will have to be ready to hand out what are called real IDs. They're part of a new federal program designed to keep us secure. But states are expected to implement and enforce the multi-million-dollar program without any federal money. The director of the DMV is bracing herself.
Law that has no flexibility, comes with a huge price tag, and is very time consuming. So we're very concerned about that. The wait times will probably double at a minimum.
It's going to be a nightmare at DMV, and especially in southern Nevada.
The state has to hire nearly 200 new workers by January and spend $66 million over the next 4 years. Lawmakers are asking for more time or a rule change, but if they don't get it, they say the money will have to come out of highway funds, which is already a $4 billion shortfall. The new attorney for a Las Vegas Catholic priest expects him to plead not guilty. Father George Shanine was officially charged today with a long list of charges, including attempted murder and sexual assault of an employee from Our Lady of Las Vegas Catholic Church. Shanine was arrested earlier this month outside of Phoenix, Arizona. Meanwhile, today, Bishop Pepe spoke publicly for the first time, forgiving Father George.
Police in Salt Lake City say a teenager is to blame for yesterday's mall shooting that left 5 dead. 18-year-old Solomon Tolovich's motive still remains a mystery, but police say he was ready to kill a large number of people. Police say an off-duty officer who was inside the mall when the shots rang out cornered the gunman and exchanged gunfire with him before backup arrived. Tolovich died in the shootout with police. Lawmakers are now debating whether President Bush's order to send more troops into Iraq is really the right move. The House of Representatives is discussing a non-binding resolution which supports U.S. troops, but not the president's decision of sending an additional 20,000 to the war-torn country. The House expects a vote on the resolution Friday. Currently, there are more than 160,000 troops in the Middle East. And tonight, the U.S. military is confirming that a Marine helicopter that crashed last week, killing all 7 on board, was shot down. The cleanup of a historic piece of land in North Las Vegas is nearly complete. North Las Vegas City Council was updated on the progress at Kyle Ranch tonight. Now, the city had allowed the historic ranch to become overgrown and used as a dump, but after an I-Team report has started to clean up the property now, and it's about 85% done, with the rest expected to be finished by mid-April. The city is now looking for grants to help develop a master plan for the ranch. Last month, the council voted unanimously to allot $450,000 to maintain the property. In 2003, the city received nearly $2 million federal dollars for the preservation of the land, but under the urging of Mayor Montandan, the council returned the money to the federal government.